Today, we are diving deep into a really fascinating battle of ideas. On one side, you've got stable, structured patterns, and on the other, the unpredictable, wild force of chaotic disruption. This is the kind of conflict that secretly shapes everything: our relationships, our projects, even our own minds. And what we're going to find out is why structure, well, it almost always comes out on top.
All right, so our journey today starts with this. Look at that phrase. What in the world does that even mean? It seriously sounds like a coded message straight out of a spy novel, doesn't it? It's confusing, it's weird, and honestly, by itself, it makes absolutely zero sense. But this little puzzle is exactly why we're here. You see, our goal today isn't to find some dictionary definition for those exact words, because the sources don't really give us one. Instead, we're going to treat it like a code. We're going to break down the key parts, words like mirroring, coherence, attacks, and use them to uncover this incredibly powerful scientific principle they're pointing towards. We're not just decoding a sentence, we are decoding a whole concept.
So to crack this thing open, we have to start by understanding the sheer power of patterns. And what better way to do that than by looking at a classic example of a stable system, a very specific and very powerful kind of human relationship.
Okay, I want you to picture two classic archetypes. First, you have the spy. Spontaneous, action-oriented, driven by this deep internal sense of values. Then, you have the scientist. Methodical, logical, driven by facts and data. Now, in personality science, these are kind of like the ESFP and ISTJ types. And when these two form a partnership, something really incredible happens. The spy, who runs on heart and gut feelings, finds themselves grounded by the scientist's external logic. It's this amazing partnership of heart and head.
Now, the science behind this is a concept called functional mirroring. And what that basically means is that the scientist's subjective logic and the spy's personal values, they don't fight each other, not at all. They actually support and reinforce one another. This mutual respect creates this unbelievably powerful, grounding structure that is just so hard to break. And this right here, this is the core idea. This bond isn't some happy accident. It's a coherent pattern. It's very design. It's very structure. Acts like a natural defense system. It's built to spot and reject anything chaotic or dysfunctional that tries to get in from the outside.
So if that stable, coherent pattern is our hero in the story, then who's the villain? Well, the villain is chaotic, unstructured input. And now we're going to look at the methodical, proven way that structure absolutely dismantles it.
So how in the world do you fight something as messy as chaos? Well, one powerful answer comes from a researcher named Dennis Verhage, and it's called the Go approach. Now, this isn't some lofty, complicated theory. No, it's a discipline. It's all about systematic rigor and taking a focused, step-by-step approach to solving problems. It is the perfect tool for taking on a chaotic mess. And get this, this isn't just a nice idea that sounds good on paper. Oh no, the effectiveness of this kind of structured thinking has been put through the ringer, rigorously tested and proven to work in some really complex fields. We have the data.
In fact, this methodology is so solid, it's actually used for tuning complex AI environments. It operates within a highly defined and measurable system, following a structured 4-stage curriculum. And the result? It's incredible. Within this system, chaotic input doesn't just fail, it becomes predictably ineffective. You can literally see it coming and know it's going to fail before it even tries.
All this modern science actually connects back to a piece of timeless wisdom, and it's captured perfectly in this old proverb: who sows the wind will reap the storm. It's the law of consequence. It's unavoidable. Actions that are based in chaos will predictably lead to disordered, stormy results. It just confirms that coherence has this natural built-in advantage.
Okay, so this principle isn't just for things out there in the world, like relationships or AI systems. It seems to be hardwired directly into our own cognition. So now, let's look at the ultimate proof: our own minds.
Now, that might sound like a pretty bold claim, but the evidence for it is just fascinating. It turns out our brains are naturally built from the ground up to favor structure and coherence, even when they're under the most extreme pressure you can possibly imagine. So check this out. Research into extreme cognitive states, we're talking near-death experiences, deep anesthesia, it shows something truly remarkable. Even when the body's senses are completely offline, the brain circuits just keep on processing information with unbelievable precision and logic. That structured, ordered thinking, it doesn't stop. The fortress holds. And our minds have another amazing layer of defense. It actually links all the way back to that idea of personal values we saw with the spy archetype. Psychologically, we all have this built-in authenticity filter. Think of it as a core function that is constantly scanning information, and it actively rejects anything it sees as fake, fabricated, or just not rooted in genuine lived experience. Any chaotic or deceptive attack on the system just bounces right off this fundamental test.
So, wow, we've looked at relationships, we've looked at scientific methodology, we've even looked at the wiring of the human brain. So after all that, what have we learned? Let's put it all together.
Remember where we started with that bizarre, mysterious phrase? And yeah, the exact words might still be a bit of a puzzle, but the principle behind them, well, that should be crystal clear now. All the evidence points to a fundamental scientific truth about how stable systems work.
And if there's one thing to take away from our entire investigation today, it's this: structured, patterned coherence isn't just a nice to have. It is the necessary scientifically supported countermeasure to chaotic and destructive disruption. It's how stable systems survive, and it's how they win.
Which of course leaves us with one final question for you to think about. In a world that feels like it's getting more and more chaotic every single day, it's worth asking yourself, what is the most important structure in your life that keeps you grounded and coherent? What's your defense?